Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Invaluable Grace. I was one way and now I'm different. First of all, a big shout out to our current subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody, for sharing, for commenting, for liking. Your commitment, your interaction, and engagement is appreciated. And please continue doing the same. And I want to just encourage our new viewers to please subscribe, like, and share, and follow, and click the notification bell so you are notified of all our new videos as soon as they come out. And also, of course, I want to plug in our Brokenness Meets Grace segments. Thank you to everybody for watching and sharing and commenting. Those segments are such a huge and important part of why this channel was started, really. Just to share and speak to everyday people, ordinary women and men, who've just lived life, and we're able to just talk about and share testimonies and talk about God and just encourage one another through our experiences. And we're so humble and grateful and blessed to be able to do that. And everybody who just comes on board with that is really, really such a blessing. And I want to take this opportunity again to thank every single guest that we've had throughout our Brokenness Meets Grace segments. We really, really appreciate every single one of you. And a disclaimer on those videos, actually, I just want to, reiterate that I struggle with signal quite a bit where we reside. So uploading those videos is a bit of a challenge for me. So if we do have people who are, waiting for these videos, I know the poster does say Wednesdays at 4, but I just want you to know that if it's not live on Wednesday at 4, it will definitely be uploaded by Thursday morning. Okay, so I really do apologize for any inconveniences, but please do know that I am uploading it and it is a priority for me. It's just signal is not my friend as of late. But yeah, just so you know, the videos do come eventually, okay? And then, this week. So today's message really was inspired from my quiet time with God, and Him just speaking into me and, speaking, encouraging and motivating me, because I have all these dialogues in my head with Him, and it's just beautiful how He answers me, in the most unrelated ways sometimes, but also just so real, and He just finds a way to just send to me and confirming things that I struggle with, things that I battle with, on this journey. And He finds a way to help me find clarity through His word, and He just centers me. And that's also the premise of this channel, the inspiration and the motivation, and the revelation that He gives me. I often want to encourage and share other people with, because I know that this journey, this faith journey that we're walking, is not easy, but they're also very similar. I think as people, we like to think we go through problems on our own, and our problems are bigger than somebody else's, but I think we don't truly understand just how similar, and how relatable our experiences are. And I think that's the whole point of a testimony, to speak into somebody else, because they may be going through something similar as well. So yeah, and I just want to share that with you today. I don't know about you guys, but I am an imperfect Christian. I am a sinner. I am flawed. I fail daily. I sin often, and I wish I didn't. And I think when you fully submit your life to God, I feel like you feel more dirtier than you were before you began this journey with Him. It's like your flaws and your sin are just in technicolor, and are highlighted, and it feels like every time you try and you pick yourself up and you tell yourself, you're going to do it better next time, and you fall again, and that's really just been my journey, honestly, for the past 3 years. It's things that I try and shake off that don't want to leave for some odd reason, but I'm still here and I still keep trying, and I just want to speak into that quickly, because like I said, I had to mention that as a disclaimer, because somehow I think it's an unspoken, expectation in the Christian faith that we assume that when you become a Christian, you're meant to be perfect, you're meant to be self-righteous, you're meant to be above the law, and you're not ever meant to fail, and you need to be like an abiding citizen of this Christian badge. And I've bumped my head, I've fallen quite a few times, and I can fully tell you that that's not true. The whole Bible is written for sinners. Every single word of the Bible is written for imperfect people. Jesus himself came and died a sinner's death for sinners. So if we thought that we didn't need God, if we thought that we were perfect, there would be no point, for us to be having a relationship with him and seeking a relationship with him, of reading the word, of fellowshipping with one another, of listening to sermons, of listening to worship music, because we would not need that encouragement, because we would be perfect, right? In truth. But we fail to see that it's in this very state, our flawed and imperfect state, that we are, number one, that Christ is drawn to us, number one, because he came to set the captives free. He came for those people, right? But also, it puts us in positioning and in alignment to fellowship with God, to be in relationship with him, right? To receive the best from him, to grow and to be refined and to be new, and, to experience life on this beautiful and tragic journey as well, and to go through all these character refinements, and just have all of this experience that you can reference, to have testimonies, to see miracles. They all need to be birthed from something broken. They all need to come from a place of imperfection. And I think we miss that, and we often just want to doll up our walk and our faith. And there's Tony, one of the pastors we listen to, calls it Christianese. We want to doll it up and make it look so perfect, but it's not meant to be. And I want to speak about that because I have guilt-ridden myself and convicted and condemned myself for the longest time, because of these very imperfections. Because I always want to please God, and I always want to do right by God more than anything, and of course right by people. And when I don't get it right, because I can't naturally, because of the vessel that I stay in, because I'm a human being, because of the flesh, it really gets me depressed often, and it knocks me down, and it demotivates me, and it keeps me in this guilt-ridden cage, and it's almost twice as hard to come out of it, because I'm just stewing in the self-pity. But I want to encourage you today to know that, number one, there's nothing wrong with you when you do mess up, because you often will. But like I said, there is scripture that encourages every single state we go through in life. Every single depressive mode. I mean, we've got the patriarchs of old. Every single person in the Old Testament and the New Testament even is written there to encourage that too, and to speak into that. But there's a particular scripture that I want to highlight, and I think Paul wrote it. I'm not sure what book it is exactly, but I will write it down. And he says that an act of love covers a multitude of sins, right? An act of love covers a multitude of sin. And what stuck to me was the fact that God uses love, singular, doesn't say multitude of loves covers multitude of sins. Just one act covers many, multitude, numerous, countless sins. And now my question is, how impactful or how heavy is this thing called love, that just one act is enough to cover so many things that we do bad on a daily basis? And where did God point me to? Jesus. That was the ultimate act of love, was it not? And just one act covered billions of sins, from past to future to generations past, all of it, right? And he says that because he wants us to understand just how important and how powerful showing love, receiving love, and giving love really is. That just one act is enough to nullify every single bad thing that we continuously get in the habit of doing, right? So the next time you feel condemned, right? The next time you feel guilt-ridden about, the fact that maybe you were not as spiritual today, or you forgot to pray, or, you were unkind, or you were impatient, or, you did things you told yourself you would never do. Remember this scripture: an act of love covers a multitude of sin. So God is basically encouraging us to, instead of focusing on the bad things that we are prone to do, rather focus or actively seek out acts of love that you can do, acts of love that you can accomplish. Because in doing so, you are wiping out whatever bad things you have done or you might even be considering doing. How powerful is that? Right? So he's encouraging us to rely on love to save us, because we cannot save ourselves. But this act, this love act, is so powerful that it can help us change our actions, what we're predisposed to, our inclinations, right? If that is the focus. And I mean, we've heard it before, it's such a cliched statement, love is powerful, and the whole world is going on about love who you want to love. And, it's such an oversaturated word, and we hear it play out often. I mean, in movies, it's the main theme, love stories, and it's there, and all of us want to be loved. But I don't think we fully understand just how powerful of an impact it is. And if we truly understood that impact alone is enough to drive off any negative inclinations, any urges we may have, it will redirect our focus, and it will redirect the things that we are predisposed to doing, right? And Jesus understood that, and that's why he made that a statement. That's why he even said that, listen, don't focus on all these other commandments, because you can't keep those. So let love be your focus rather. Because if you understand that it's love that makes everything better, your actions would change, right? So we shouldn't be sitting and allowing ourselves to be separated from God because we're imperfect. Newsflash, you're meant to be imperfect, you're meant to be a sinner, you're meant to make mistakes, you're meant to fail, but you're not meant to stay there. Because in getting up, you need to understand that it's redirecting your actions to love that not only draws you closer to the God of love, who is love himself, but it completes you and it fulfills you and it fills your spirit. But you're also showing love to somebody else, encouraging somebody else, right? And you're contributing to somebody else's happiness and well-being, right? It's an all-rounded impact. Just that one act impacts many things and puts you in a better space spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Okay, so that is my message to you today, that even though we mess up, we will mess up. That is not in question. Our desire and our motivation needs to be to show love, because the God of love expects that from us, but also he knows why we need to do it. It has a greater impact than the negativity that we allow ourselves to be surrounded by on a daily basis. Okay, so instead of feeling guilty, instead of feeling shame, show love, give love, receive love, and be love. Because that alone will encourage you to keep going and to keep pushing, and to know that you're not meant to be perfect, not here anyway, but there's a perfect God who loves you and who encourages us to love him and love others the same way.